When you're in Las Vegas at the ESPN zone, playing for a championship can take on a life of its own. Things tend to speed up a little. Canadian Luke Salvas. Englishman Dave Pearson. You ready? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Las Vegas, the New York Hotel and Casino, and the ESPN Zone Billiard Shootout. It's time for the International Speed Pool Challenge, and international it is. Our Aramis road to the final. You will see Luke Salvas taking care of Jeanette Lee, Dave Pearson over Jason Kane. So we have a Canadian and an Englishman playing for $50,000. Our Olhausen tournament format, it will be 2 sets. Each one a race to 12. Players will race against that time clock. The shortest elapsed time wins. First set of balls will be shot in any order. The second set will be regulation 8 ball with a twist. A penalty for each foul. The player has to call the pocket on the last ball, and if we should split the sets, there will be a tiebreaker for that 50 grand. Mitch Lawrence and Alan Hopkins, as always, thrilled to be with you. Looking at Luke Salvas. Let's look at his Olhausen player profile. Two-time Canadian 9-ball champion. He's won a bunch, over 100 times up in Canada and around the world, but this would, I think, it would be safe to say, be his biggest payday. And he is ready, Alan. Nobody has more fun and nobody, I think, more qualified to play speed pool than Luke Salvas.
Well, that's the way he normally plays on the tour anyway. On the pro tour, he's definitely a fast player, probably the fastest player. And as you see, he got a great break here. And he'll be running the balls in any order. It's straight pool first. Must call the last ball. Notice the cue ball, he won't move it as much. Now, there's one thing I am starting to notice, that he's keeping the cue ball from traveling a lot less this time than he did in the semifinal.
He's picked up some knowledge along the way. These great players, they do learn as they go along also. Keep your eye on the clock, upper left corner there, 38, 39, 40 seconds. It'll keep you aware of what's going on, and I'm telling you, if Luke gets into his rhythm, that clock will stop quickly.
What a fabulous time he has going here. 53 seconds with 2 balls left on the table. Unbelievable.
Have to call it. And how would you like to put that rack on as an opening statement to Dave Pearson? 58 seconds for Luke Salvas. He's got to be happy, Alan.
He's got to love that. Oh, I got to love that, Mitch. I mean, 58 seconds for $50,000 in first prize.
As we look at the last 2 balls and Luke's reaction to him, he calls the corner pocket. This has to make him feel fantastic.
It does.
And normally a very jovial, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, but look at this face on Luke Salvas, Alan. That tells me something. $50,000 at stake.
Serious.
Wow. Take a look at Dave Pearson's Olhausen player profile. The #1 ranked speed pool player in the world. 26.5 seconds for 15 balls at one time. That is, I don't think I could walk around the table that fast.
That's quick. And he's going to need one of those times like this right now. You know that, Mitch? Because I'll tell you, Luke put up a great score right there, 58 seconds. And look at the balls come back together. They all came back together in the middle of the table. This is going to be a tough run out for him. He hits one ball right to the rail. Doesn't matter. He shoots another ball right away. I like his strategy. He's already made 2 balls with that little shot that he did in the beginning, so that's good.
And what Luke's opening rack does is it puts immediate pressure on Dave Pearson to match it. Oh, there's a foul.
There's a foul.
Neither of those balls hit the rail, Alan.
That's right, so that's a 10-second penalty. I don't think he'll let that bother him. No, he knows he was just using some strategy there. He's undecided what to shoot. And that's what happens in speed pool. You get undecided what to shoot. Then when you finally do shoot, you end up missing the ball sometimes, not all the time, not with these fellas. Of course, remember one thing, misses really don't mean a lot as long as you keep hitting the cue ball and keep shooting balls toward the hole.
If you miss enough of them, though, it'll take its toll on a rack.
You're exactly right. Well, he's actually over the time now that Luke did his rack in, so He has
And
to make
remember,
sure. Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
Remember, you got to add a 10-second penalty to that time you see up top left. Dave Pearson, I know him. He will not be happy about this opening rack. Calls it in the corner. 121 plus the 10. There you see 131 for Dave Pearson. 33 seconds behind Luke Salvas after the opening rack in the first set. Not what you wanted to do if you are Dave Pearson. Let's look at a couple of points that were critical in this opening rack. Foul there. And then the miss for Dave Pearson. Just like that, Luke Salvas jumps out to a big lead at the International Speed Pool Challenge. The ESPN Zone Billiards Shootout is brought to you by Olhausen Tables, the best in billiards featuring AccuFast cushions. By Viking Cues, the world's leading cue. And by ESPN Zone, a taste of ESPN. Mitch Lawrence and Alan Hopkins joining you in Las Vegas. Beautiful New York Hotel and Casino. For this final matchup between Luke Salvas and Dave Pearson. And watch out, here goes Luke with a big lead after one rack in the first set.
And I love the way he breaks. Here's two balls that are tied up, but all the other balls are open. And he is not wasting any time, Mitch, getting to the table and pocketing these balls.
Now again, those of you just joining us, this is speed pool. Straight pool, speed pool. Any ball can go as quickly as you can. You have to wait for that cue ball to stop moving. Object balls can be moving. 10-second penalty for all fouls. And Luke Salvas, Alan, looking really strong right now.
Oh, there's a missed cue. Boy, as soon as you say that, Mitch, what'd you do? What'd you do? Jinx him or what? No, he's okay. He's at 40 seconds. The missed cue was not a foul because he got a ball to the rail, so he's still okay. Still has an excellent time going here.
And even that, just slicing that in without any thought.
How about this shot right here? Shooting this ball in the corner, and, well, he misses it, but he still got the cue ball. Stopped the cue ball right there. The 8 ball's still rolling, and he's going to shoot it now.
Remember, Luke put a 58-second rack on Dave Pearson to start and follows it up with a 1-6-second rack and no penalties.
Excellent.
That is exactly what you want to do. Because now Dave Pearson knows what he has to do. That's a happy Luke Salvas.
Here he's putting a lot of spin on the cue ball, just trying to kill it, and he just slides off the cue ball and gets a foul. But he did get the 13 and the cue ball to the rail, so he's okay, no penalty.
All right, so Dave Pearson, originally from Newcastle in England, now living right here in Las Vegas, traveling the world, doing nothing but this. Speed pool is his life, and he is the #1 ranked speed pool player in the world.
And if you watch him, you'll understand why.
Trying to make a decision about which way to go.
He's okay. He's okay.
Moving around the table now quickly. And as I mentioned the table, we definitely want to thank Olhausen, the official table of International Speed Pool Challenge, the best in billiards, featuring AccuFast cushion.
Well, I like the way he goes around the table, Mitch. His shot selection, the way he cues the ball, one stroke, boom, hits it in. This is going to be a great matchup here.
What's amazing, Alan, he didn't start playing until he was 19, and he picked up a cue, and the first time he picked up a cue, he ran 6 balls in a row.
Oh, wow, that's fabulous.
Which is pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Never having played, and he just kind of found something that he is good at and loves to do.
By the way, he has a good time going here also.
Dave Pearson, rack #2, getting a little more into it right now. Still 2 seconds behind the rack that Luke put up in rack 2 and still trailing. But good work there by Dave Pearson. Still trailing by 35 seconds. And they're 2 of the official products of the International Speed Pool Challenge, the Mueller rack and Aramis Super Pro balls. And we thank them for joining us here in Las Vegas. Referee Mark Dimmick taking care of business, racking those balls. And Luke Salvas, you should know by now, keep your eyes open because here comes a break quickly.
Ooh, the cue ball almost gets away from him. Actually got a little lucky there. Could have went off the table, but it didn't. Balls are open nicely. And he's at the table. He's got a couple things he's going to have to work with on this rack. It's not going to be such an easy rack. He'll get rid of the easy shots. Notice all those balls along the rail there. He's gonna. Oh, there's a miss a shot, but that's okay. Don't let it bother you, Luke. Get up and shoot.
Over the years, we have seen Luke, and always Alan commented on the speed with which he plays in regular events, and it is definitely an asset in the International Speed Pool Challenge.
Well, I've played with him in pro tournaments, and it's exactly, pretty much just how he plays. He gets down, he 1-2 strokes it, and hits the ball, and he's very accurate that way. And he's only at 56 seconds, and he's had a couple misses in this rack. Still has a chance for an excellent score.
I really enjoy watching it because so much of his game is about trust. He really, really trusts his game. Like that a lot. Good work there by Luke Salvas. See another great speed pool player, Nick Nicolaitis, in the audience. Rack 3 and the total time in set number 1 for Luke, 3:17. He's a happy guy. He's playing for 50 grand, and he's doing really well. Let's take a look at his break again, Alan.
Well, here the cue ball almost goes flying off the table, but it stays on the table. The ball's open nicely, and I think he comes right to the table and starts shooting balls in. And then here's the last 4 balls he has on the table. And if you notice, you keep an eye on the cue ball. He hardly moves it at all. Drawing the cue ball to the rail here and stopping it. Watching the 9 ball go in.
Very nice. Canadian Luke Salvas in pursuit of $50,000.
Oh, that's why I don't like that side rail break. It doesn't hit something you could scratch very easily. But here he takes ball in hand. It's only been 6 seconds, and he's already made 2 balls. Very good. Didn't let it bother him. Excellent. Look at him go, Mitch.
That's speed there, boy.
Look at him go.
Around quickly, we want to thank some more of our official sponsors: Simona's Billiard Cloth, Silver Cup Chalk, the Mueller Rack, Ozone Billiards, and the Association for Pool. This is a great time here, Alan.
Wow, 38 seconds, and he has 1 penalty in this. Wow, he's making up some great time here.
He calls it. This is amazing. Oh, no.
Oh, he missed it. Oh.
That would have been a 45-second rack, and even with that 10-second penalty, under a minute.
Oh, a couple misses here. If it goes in, it counts. That counts. That's the pocket he plays in.
But that 1 minute plus the 10 seconds, a minute 10, that was about a 15-second difference at least. And in the finals for $50,000, that is important. 32 seconds after 3 racks. Luke Salvas leading Dave Pearson. Oof.
Well, I'll tell you something. He's got a bad break here. It just comes off, doesn't touch anything. He just goes right in the corner pocket. And he jumps up, gets a cue ball, and starts to run off the table. And very unfortunate that he ends up missing this shot because he could have had a great time there.
And he just definitely took that one for granted, Alan. No doubt about it. Straight in. When you don't pay attention, sometimes you're going to pay the price.
Here, he misses it again, but he's very fortunate, Mitch. It comes back and goes in.
And as he blows that ball in, let us go to our tip of the day, featuring Aramuth Super Pro Balls, the original Belgian billiard ball.
I'd like to show you a demonstration in 8-ball, what goes on in speed 8-ball and regular 8-ball. Here's a situation with 3 balls on the table. I have the 1 ball in the corner pocket, and a normal 8-ball, I would just roll the cue ball over in between the 8 and 4 and play the 4 down the corner pocket. But because we're playing speed 8-ball, what I want to do is make the 1 and just stop the cue ball there, so the cue ball doesn't move. Then I'm going to try to bank the 4 ball cross-side, as so, and then come around the table real quick. You notice you'll see the players running around the table and shoot the 8 in the corner pocket. And that would be the whole strategy you would use playing speed pool.
A beautiful spot here in Las Vegas, the New York Hotel and Casino. We are here for the International Speed Pool Challenge. It's the finals, $50,000 at stake. Luke Salvas ahead of Dave Pearson in the chase for the money.
Look at that break, Mitch. And he's at the table already shooting. Balls are open nicely. And he doesn't waste any time.
He's in a really good rhythm, Alan.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, Mitch, if you had to pick a favorite, a lot of people were liking this Dave Pearson. I'll tell you what, Luke plays this way normally on the tour. And he is just a normal, fast player. He's not really, I mean, he's speeding himself up maybe, I would say maybe 10 to 20%, but this is normally how he plays. I've seen him run a rack and 9 ball in like, like 45 seconds or something.
Well, he has run one of these rack in 37 seconds. Told me he did it a few years ago. Of course, Dave Pearson on a slightly smaller table ran one in 26.5 seconds. So both of these guys used to getting around quickly, and this is another terrific time by Luke Salvas.
Wow.
1:04 and no penalty.
He knows it too. He's got a great score going.
He's kind of strutting around a little, isn't he?
Yeah. Must be his Canadian way, you know.
Lives outside of Montreal, owns a couple of pool rooms. Just a jovial, happy guy to be around, and he is glad to be here, that's for sure. And in the middle of rack 4, he has good reason to be happy. Leading Dave Pearson now. We will play 2 sets. This one straight pool, the second one regulation 8 ball with a slight twist. We'll explain it to you when we get to it. Each play with 6 racks in each set.
Here Dave has opened the balls, but all of them are on the one end of the table. If you notice that, they're all below the side pockets. So we won't see the cue ball go very far, I can tell you that. He's going to pretty much stay down this end of the table. And that was not a good shot. There's a 2-ball, 3-ball combination.
Dave currently holds 4 world records in speed pool right now.
And you can see why, Mitch.
Dave also does a lot of different things in his exhibitions. He told me in America, most of his exhibitions are about speed pool. And in Europe, he does trick shots too. So he's around it all the time. You will find no one more passionate about speed pool than Dave Pearson.
Oh, I didn't like that shot. Look out, he may scratch on this shot. Don't scratch. No, okay.
Oh,
there's 2 misses. Oh, and this is a bad miss. Now he has a bank shot, but he don't have to bank it if he doesn't want to.
Nudge it.
There you go, a little nudge. There's a little strategy.
Finally gets it to fall at 119 of rack number 4, and falling further behind is Dave Pearson. 47 seconds now behind Luke Salvas in set number 1.
That's a tough break right there. He overcuts it, and here comes the cue ball over. Play it down the corner, and just gets a bad roll here because what happens is it doubles the point and goes over to the rail. So that cost him about another 7-8 seconds.
And he really needed that one to start putting some pressure on Luke Salvas, because right now in set number 1, Luke is having his way, and he sees Dave getting more frustrated with every rack. We're here in Las Vegas, the International Speed Pool Challenge. Back in Las Vegas, the New York Hotel and Casino. Fantastic spot in the middle of the desert that will remind you of Manhattan. Luke Salvas and Dave Pearson. Set number 1, Luke with a 47-second lead. Elapsed time in this first set. They will play 6 racks in this first set to decide the first set winner.
And he's on his way. He will not waste any time.
He really has to be feeling good about this whole match so far, Alan.
Well, I think what it is he's feeling very comfortable, Mitch.
Yep.
I mean, this is right in his realm. And he's going to be awfully tough to beat.
Said that cue ball's moving too much. There you see a stop shot, another stop shot. He got angry enough at the cue ball to just say, "This is enough."
Well, see, I think he learned that in the semifinals. He watched Jason Kane and Dave Pearson play, and he realized he's got to stop moving the cue ball so much. And that's the sign of a champion, Mitch. When they watch and they start learning, they will adapt and they will win if they can. Wait for the cue ball to stop, and he has another good score.
Almost got this rack under a minute also. 101 for Luke Salvas. You call him machine gun, and for good reason. And if that doesn't put pressure on Dave Pearson, I don't know what will. In his semifinal matchup against Jason Kane, we saw Dave Pearson come with a 50-second rack. And he's going to need a few of those to get back into this one against Luke. Let's take another look at Luke Salvas' rack from above, Alan.
And there it is. He breaks. I think he pockets a ball on the break, at least one ball. And he gets right to the table and starts shooting balls in. And he notices right away that he's letting the cue ball roll out. Notice the time he's taking with the cue ball. It's rolling out here. He'll just stop the cue ball. Combination. There he used the 6 to stop the cue ball right away. But here he shoots the 9 and the cue ball rolls about 6 feet, which he knows is not a good idea to do. It takes up a lot of time. And there he realizes, stop the cue ball, stops the cue ball. Stop.
I mean, you want to play speed pool, there's the way right there.
Yeah, here he'll use the 10 just to stop the cue ball a little bit, won't let it go far.
This is just very nice, controlled work, Alan.
It doesn't get any better than that right there, Mitch.
No sign of nerves or anything else, and Luke taking full advantage. Calls it in the corner. Wow, 101.
He knows, too.
And he's really, really showing a lot of emotion, is Luke Salvas. $50,000 at the end of this particular rainbow, so there's good reason to be emotional. And Dave Pearson wants the crowd behind him, and he's starting off shaking his head.
Well, look out for the cue ball.
And again, that side break, Allen, and is dangerously close to scratching.
I'm not crazy about that side break. He comes with a nice shot right there, though. Boy, he's came back nice.
Good action with that cue, and as he moves around with stop shots, again, we want to thank Viking, the official cue of the International Speed Pool Challenge. Take your best shot with Viking. You hear the encouragement from the crowd.
33 seconds with like 6, 8 balls. Boy, like 5 balls to go. Great score going. Don't let it bother you. Keep going. Made that off the 8. Notice the shot he shot there? That was an interesting shot.
It's a good shot there.
Yes. Great score going. 54 seconds. Wait for the cue ball to stop.
Takes the time to chalk up. Nice work. Same exact time as Luke Salvas' rack, 101.
And that's moving.
He is moving. He's still down at the same 47 seconds with one rack to play. So let's see what Luke Salvas can do. Boy, this is going to be tough. Dave needs Luke to do something not so good, and he needs to come with a big one. So let's see if Luke can just keep going.
Oh, boy. That helps tremendously for Dave Pearson. He got 2 kisses for a scratch there. He won't waste any time attacking the rack.
That's a 10-second penalty, that scratch. Two-time Canadian Player of the Year. The Canadian Open champion. A couple of tremendous third-place finishes in the Challenge of Champions and Sudden Death 7-ball. Luke knows what it's like to play for some big money.
Well, I think this is the biggest payday of all for Speed Pool. $50,000 to the winner. And Luke can smell the money.
This is just good work. Steady work. That's what I like, Alan.
He is solid. I mean, this is no easy shot right here. He gets down and fires it toward the corner, and look at this. Unbelievable.
Look at that shot.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that is hard to do, to be moving around quickly and get down and compose yourself on a tough shot. Remember, the 105 plus the 10-second penalty, 115 in rack 6. And that total elapsed time of 6:37 for Luke Salvas. It's an unfortunate break right here for Luke.
Yeah, he gets one kiss right there, but then he gets another kiss and another one.
3.
Oh, boy, what a bad break for Luke. But he came back, he recuperated great. He got together and got those balls off the table.
All right, now Dave Pearson is learning what he has to do in rack 6, and there's a reason he's smiling. He has to beat 28 seconds to win this first set. So if he makes 10 or 12 balls on the break, he might do that. But he's still going for it. Look at him, Al.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. Why not, right? Going to just keep shooting. He just obviously gets a bad break there. Well, I think he's just about had it. You know, I mean, unless he starts making 4 or 5 balls every shot.
Trying to keep in stroke for the second set. Time to beat. Those are the words you don't want to see. Time to beat 28 seconds. He had one rack on a smaller table, as I said, at 26.5. But he's already past that time. So Luke Salvas has won the first set. Dave Pearson, gamely going on.
He still has a decent time going.
He does.
Even with all the misses he had and what happened.
It's just the standard that Luke has set in this set. Don't forget, we've got an 8-ball speed pool rack coming up. And if Dave should manage to win that one, we would have a tiebreaker to see who wins the $50,000. Simona's pocket cam gives you that look. Dave Pearson running around and smiling. And I think he cleared that table a little quickly. But at the end of that first set, 20-second penalty for Dave Pearson. Well, we'll call it cheating.
Isn't this kind of cute? Look at how cute this is. Even got us with that one.
And he kept a straight face while he was doing it. But the bottom line, Luke Salvas in rack number 1, opening up with a 58-second rack, put the pressure on Dave Pearson and never let up. So he has one set in hand. We will play another set of Speed Pool 8-ball at the International Speed Pool Challenge. One of these two guys will walk away with $50,000 and the title. The ESPN Zone in Las Vegas, Nevada at the New York Hotel and Casino. Mitch Lawrence and Alan Hopkins with you for the International Speed Pool Challenge. Dave Pearson and Luke Salvas duking it out in the finals. $50,000 to the winner. Luke Salvas has taken the first set. This will be our second set. And as we expected, Luke off to a quick start in the first rack of set 2.
There's some trouble right there. This is going to be 8-ball this rack, so he has the low balls. What he'll be trying to do is run all the low balls first and then not shoot the 8 afterwards, but he has to run the high balls next and then the 8-ball last, and he must call his shot. Regulation rules. And the whole idea is who can finish the rack off the quickest, the whole rack of 8-ball. And keep an eye on this fella, because if you don't, you might miss what he's doing.
He's really in a good groove. Has to be feeling very confident after the first set. He pretty much took Dave Pearson out of that first set, Alan, really did.
From the beginning he did. I mean, in other words, just right from the first rack, He had a really great time, and every rack he had a great time. And right now he's working on a great time for 8-ball. Got to take in, for example, your 8-ball is going to be longer times than the straight pool because they have to run certain balls. So anything under a minute and a half, minute 20 is going to be good, I would think. Right now he's on his way. Notice the English on the cue ball there, so he can come down for that 14. Going to break him open right now. There it is. He nudged it out. Notice how much the cue ball is traveling. That's going to eat up time. That's something you don't want to do if you don't have to.
In that first set, Luke Salvas put a 58-second rack on Dave Pearson, and you can tell, Alan said, another story in 8-ball, but I'm sure Luke would rather have had a little bit better time to open the second set. 134 for Luke Salvas. Enjoying it. Absolutely enjoying every minute of it, although he pretty much enjoys every minute of every day. That's the kind of guy he is. So does Dave. Both great competitors. Enjoying being here in Las Vegas.
And that's not really a bad time for me either, Mitch. 134 is fine.
They're discussing it. They know there's a lot at stake here. You're talking about $50,000. One of them's going to take all of it. The other one will have had a nice time at the New York Hotel and Casino. Luke Salvas living in Canada. Dave Pearson living right here in Las Vegas. Look at one of our terrific official sponsors, Aramith Super Pro Balls. We thank them for their participation in the International Speed Pool Challenge. And now Dave Pearson the #1 ranked speed pool player in the world. See if he can quickly get into set number 2.
There's that break. He lets the cue ball fly around. It doesn't matter if he makes a ball on the break or not. He can make his choice after the rack, after the break, and he chose the high balls, ones with the stripes. And it's not going to be easy. He has a couple things to deal with. See him be nudging balls around a little bit. I get a kick at how fast he goes around the table, Mitch. You know, he's just normally, I mean, that's a nice shot right there. Nice position for the 15 in the side. And then the 9 in the corner. He's got rid of all the high balls already, and it's only 34 seconds.
This is great work by Dave Pearson, and this is exactly what he needs to do. Come with something and let Luke know, okay, this set's different than the last one. This is a different time.
And he wants to stop that cue ball. Stop it quickly. The one down the corner he'll play. I mean the 5, the
Boy,
one
this
that
is
ball.
great.
This is the great shooting here. Oh, he called it too late. Oh.
Now we can call it. There would have been a 10-second penalty. Still 107, and he knows he let a few seconds slip away.
He is funny.
He's such a shy, retiring guy.
Yeah.
That is terrific. A 27-second lead for Dave Pearson in the first rack of the second set.
Said he's shy there, Mitch. You hear that?
Wow. That is good work. Now, if he had just shot this and didn't call it, that would have been 10 seconds instead. And it even drifts down toward that corner pocket.
Very fortunate, Mitch.
A little bit of luck, but you need that sometimes along the way. Dave Pearson will take it, jumps out to a good lead here in the first rack of the second set. And here a look at what they're playing for. $50,000 held by Giulio Riccardi of Liguria International on behalf of Olhausen Billiards. We thank Giulio for being here, as we do Yvonne Simonis, makers of Simonis Billiard Cloth, for their closed captioning help today. Dave Pearson and Luke Salvas, after 3 racks in the second set. Luke down now only by 10 seconds, so he has closed the gap a little bit, still trailing Dave Pearson, but certainly within striking distance, Alan.
Very good break there, and he'll jump right to the table and take the low balls. He has choice after the break no matter what he makes. Here he's jacked up over a ball. Be very careful not to touch it. That's an excellent shot right there, Mitch. Believe it or not, that's not easy. Here he tries to make the 5, misses the combination. 6 is going to come down. He's wasting time here. He should have shot the 5 ball already. He's wasted about 8-10 seconds right there.
It's pretty rare you see Luke Salvas scratch his head over a shot. He just seems to instinctively know where to go in speed pool. Fires it in.
Oh, excellent shot right there. Hit that with a lot of draw. And there he caught a nice break. He cleared the pocket. He'll play the 7 over where the 9 ball is. Now he has to clear off the high balls. He's at 55 seconds. So he's got to hurry up.
This is the first rack that kind of feel a little bit like Luke wasn't in total control. Still a good time.
Yeah, and
Don't get me wrong.
They're also getting a little closer to that $50,000, Mitch.
Are you implying that that might add some pressure?
Well, I would think so. It's the biggest payday ever in the speed pool.
Has to wait for that cue ball to stop. Good shape on the 8. And 121.
Respectable.
For Luke Salvas. So even with all that, a good time, as Alan said. Combined time in set 2, 5:31. A lot of terrific people here in Vegas to watch the Speed Pool Challenge. Hank Hayes, always a pleasure to see him from Simonis Billiards Cloth. A great friend of the game.
He's a good friend of mine too, Mitch. Plays tennis with my wife, Dawn. They have tennis matches together.
There you go. And Dave Pearson trying to take control of set number 2. If Dave were to win this set, with Luke having won the first set, we would have a tiebreaker. See who would take home the title and $50,000. Occasionally you'll get a look from the Simonis pocket cams, giving you all kinds of angles of the International Speed Pool Challenge.
And what a nice rack he has going here, Mitch. Excellent ring coming back for the 13 ball with low English. Now you'll see a lot of stop, stop, stop. Much as he can. And try to keep nice and still, which he can't do. I can't keep still watching him, Mitch.
You're talking faster as you watch him go along, Al. I mean, this is a great time, especially in 8-ball. That cue ball comes to rest. Dave Pearson has got to love this.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
It looks like he wants to go after somebody. He's just so pumped up. Wow. I would be afraid to give him a high five. 35-second lead now for Dave Pearson. 56-second rack in rack 4. And Luke even looks a little bit stunned right there. That was a big-time rack of speed pool 8-ball by Dave Pearson. Anytime you can break a minute, you're doing great, Alan. Let's look at the entire rack.
Oh, it's unbelievable how fast he gets this rack out of the way. The 7-ball's still rolling, and he's almost pocketed 2 balls before it stops. If you notice that, it just stopped the 7. He's made 2 high balls already. Breaks open those balls right there, which is perfect. He'll come back for that ball in the same pocket. Notice the English on the cue ball. Here he uses that ball to stop the cue ball. Back with a little draw. He's finished off the high balls and very quickly. Superbly. In other words, he hasn't missed a ball this rack.
And you're seeing some great technique right now. Moving so quickly and then getting still quickly. Not easy to do.
Here's probably, this thing takes the most time right here. He has to wait for the cue ball to stop rolling.
And clear the ball out of the corner pocket to make way for the 8-ball in that corner. Incredible. Ah, it goes into the side and then I don't even think he knew what he was doing. He moved the ball from the corner to the side pocket and then went in there anyway.
He knows he had a great time.
Wow, that was fun. That was really fun. And more importantly for Dave Pearson, there you see that 35-second lead. Again, Luke Salvas with the first set. We're in rack 5 of the second set of the International Speed Pool Challenge Finals.
Good break by Luke. Balls are open nicely. Luke has, there's a tie-up right there. Could be a problem with that one low ball. He has to move that strike ball out of the way, which he'll do right now probably. There it is. And he has an excellent time going too. Just how easy he hits. Use it. Stop there. Oh, stop.
Behind the 8. Oh.
That's a bad break. He'll hit it nice and easy. Hit something. And there's a foul. That'll be 10 seconds added to his score, but he won't let it affect him. He'll get up and shoot right away.
For those of you wondering about the cue ball rolling into the corner pocket, he had already fouled by the time it got there, so only 1 10-second penalty on that shot. But right now, the last thing Luke needs are penalties of any kind.
Well, I'll tell you something, Mitch. He still has a great time going here. If he can get done like by 110, add 10 to it. He's calling the ball anyway.
Gotta wait for the cue ball. And he does. And you called it, Alan.
Perfect.
110 exactly, plus the 10 penalty. 120 in total.
10-second penalty on that rack.
Not bad.
Nope.
Luke scratching the corner.
We are getting down to the end of the second set, though. Luke watching now knows how unfortunate that was right there.
Well, he rolled this. Well, I'll have to see the shot he shot. Maybe we're going to see it right now. And here's where he tried to kick the 5 in and just let the cue ball get away and scratches in the pocket.
All right, here goes Dave Pearson. Followed.
Makes a ball on the break. This is no easy run out here. He's got some problems in this rack. And there he nudged the ball out. He didn't mean to miss that ball, though. He wanted to make it. He should break open these balls here. There he goes. Nudge that one out. Excellent. Well, I'll tell you, Mitch, it's pretty easy commentating this because you can see right away what he's going to go try and do. You know he's going to go for that next ball, break him open. Going to play this down the corner, just roll down for that striped ball in the other corner.
I think it's nice of Dave to make it easy for us to commentate.
Yeah, it sure
Along
is.
with everything else he's thinking about, including 50 grand. All right, now we'll go for the low balls.
You know, he's very solid on those long shots. And the shots like that where he just gets down, he one strokes it and hits it.
You know, we saw Luke take control of the first set, and it feels certainly like Dave Pearson has set number 2 well within his sights. Even though he missed that, still very much in control.
As soon as you said that, Mitch, we better be careful what we're talking about here. I don't know if the 8-ball's in trouble or not. Looks like if the 8's frozen to that rail, it could be a hard ball to make. I can't tell if it's frozen. It mustn't be frozen. Oh, well, that's going to take some time.
Nice shot.
Okay.
That's where it gets tense, just waiting for the cue ball to stop after you've missed. But 122nd for Dave Pearson, rack 5. And he's still in very good shape. 28-second lead over Luke Salvas. As we look at the end of rack 4, this one extended Dave Pearson's lead. And there's his reaction. Back to Vegas in a minute. The ESPN Zone Billiards Shootout is brought to you by Viking Cues, the world's leading cue, and by ESPN Zone, a taste of ESPN. Mitch Lawrence and Alan Hopkins here as we draw to a close the International Speed Pool Challenge Finals. Dave Pearson seeded. Luke Salvas has his work cut out for him in set 2. He already owns set 1. And that is not the way to start rack 6 for Luke Salvas.
No, that's a bad break. The cue ball went flying in the side pocket. He has ball in hand now. He'll take his choice, whatever he wants. He did make some balls on the break, though, so that could help. He needs to put in a really good time here, Mitch.
Cue ball moving a lot.
He'll start to slow it down now, I believe. He'll stop. Moving around there. Get that 10 out of the way if he can make it. He can. Excellent shot.
And he is in good shape for a good time here, Alan.
He's doing fine, yes. It's too bad he got that one penalty. Otherwise, he'd have a great time.
Don't forget that 10 seconds. The very opening of this rack 6 for Luke Salvas. And he calls it.
Yeah.
And 1 minute on the nose.
Excellent.
That's terrific. Boy, he wishes he could get that scratch back. That cost him 10 seconds. There you see 1:10, 8:01 total time. And the Hart's really got to be picking up some speed here. $50,000 on the line.
Well,
Here's
here
the
the
scratch, Alan.
Yeah, he just draws it right into the side pocket. Nothing can do about that. But he does make a couple balls on the break, and that's a big help for running the rack. And that's why he got that 1 minute time.
All right, here's where we stand now. Dave Pearson with his break in rack 6. Luke has the first set. And Dave Pearson, based on the time through these first racks in the second set, will come to the table. And he needs, there you go, 138 or less to win this set, in which case we'd have a tiebreaker.
Look at
Let's
this,
see if
Mitch.
he can do it.
Watch the cue ball. Look at this. It's going toward the corner.
Oh.
And it ate up a lot of time, too. That's a bad break for Dave.
Now as he moves, you'll see the time to beat 128. We have added the 10 seconds penalty. Wow, that was big, Alan, really big.
Luke has a chance. Those are the balls he's going to be concerned with, the cluster where the 8 ball is tied up there. Playing a combination. Now he's in trouble.
40 seconds gone.
Boy, I tell you, this is close.
Dave Pearson's got to get going now.
I don't know about you, Mitch, but I'm getting fidgety here watching him. Wow. Does he make that? Okay.
Barely.
It's close.
Boy, that cue ball moving is just big. You can see him dancing around, just wanting a shot.
He's got to break open this cluster here, and he does. Very good.
20 seconds. That's all the time he has left to get these balls off the table.
Oh, he missed 2 balls in a row there. That's not good.
And I don't think this is going to cut it.
It's close.
And there it is. It does not.
Oh.
He has gone past already. Of course, he's in the thick of it, Alan. He's not realizing the time, but now the 2-ball, and I think right here is where Dave Pearson knows he has lost this title.
Oh, that's a bad break for Dave. Yep, bad break.
You can tell by his body language.
Yes.
Doesn't even look. And there is your champion, Luke Salvas of Quebec in Canada. Your first International Speed Pool Challenge champion.
And very deserving, Mitch. He played great during the whole match. Great times.
Absolutely. And there is Jeanette. Luke took her out in the semifinals, and a very disappointed Dave Pearson. High hopes for Dave coming into this event as the world's #1 ranked speed pool player, but Luke Salvas has taken him out. Disheartened for sure, because he had it within his reach. Just needed to beat 138 and couldn't do it this time. A great competitor, though. Dave Pearson will be back. Wow. A fantastic end to this event. A super shot of the match brought to you by Viking Q's. And this was Luke Salvas's first rack in the first set, and it set the tone here against Dave Pearson. A 58-second rack right off the bat. His best of the whole match. And now Luke Salvas will be going back to Canada with the title.
Here's where it all happens right here. The cue ball drifts into the corner pocket, takes up about 5-6 seconds, and then he's just really been behind the whole time. He rushes the 2-ball and misses it, and it comes and lays on the bottom rail, which takes all hopes out for him to even have a chance.
And at this point right here, Dave knows it's over. Luke Salvas with the big money. His wife Celine, his daughter Lori Eve will await him in Canada.
And I'd like to congratulate him too. What a great performance by Luke Salvas and a good try by Dave Pearson.
As I said, brought a lot of excitement to this event. Did Dave Pearson. We know we'll see him again. A special thanks, of course, to the ESPN Zone Restaurant in Las Vegas, Nevada, and to everybody else who participated in the International Speed Pool Challenge. We're glad you've been with us. We know we'll see you again. For Alan Hopkins, I'm Mitch Lawrence. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Congratulations to Luke.